Welcome to Table Tennis for Fun. Today we're going to do the Tomahawk serve and who it's for. Run the titles. Right, the Tomahawk serve. Why is it called the Tomahawk serve? Well, that's a tomahawk, or the best picture I could do of a tomahawk. And the tomahawk is a Native American axe, basically, or a weapon of war that the Native Indians used to use. The throwing action of the tomahawk is where the serve comes from. Think of it as a dart. If you're throwing a dart, right-handed, right eye dominant dart player would hold the dart a little bit past your ear and away you go. It's the same muscle groups that you would be using for throwing a tomahawk or throwing a dart. And that's where our serve, this is what we're looking for, okay? Who's it for? Now, for youngsters, the Chinese really, they love this serve because you have to get really low to the table to actually perform it, where youngsters are already at the right height and they find it quite easy to be stood up and get the whole serve in quite easily. I'm also thinking that it would be a really good serve for wheelchair players on account of it is high into your arm, and we'll have a little go of that later on in this video. It's a very spinny serve. It's also a really good one to learn when you're on your basics and you've learnt a few little serves. It's really spinny, so it's worth a try. If you can't master it, don't worry about it. You only have to be good enough. You don't have to be perfect. It's also a serve that is easily read. So you're going to get it away with it on the basic levels, but really on a pro level, you're going to really struggle unless you're a pro yourself and you can really, really give it some spin. Because the thing is, yes, you can read it, but you still got to deal with it. The whole idea is a bit of fun. Let's have a go at it. Right, a few things that you're going to need to practice this is big bag of balls, a little bit of patience and time. Don't expect to get it straight away. It is quite difficult to begin with, but I think it is very achievable to a certain level. The certain level I'm trying it to. I'm not an expert on it, but I can get useful shots out of this, and it has got me a few points. Key points. 1, contacting the ball. Where you contact the ball. It's got to be a relatively high throw, and you are contacting it almost just after your ear. It's your peripheral vision, right on the edge of your peripheral vision is where you're going to catch this ball. That's important. And again, where you catch the ball depends on the spin that you're going to get on it. Top spin, all side, underspin. You gain a little bit of underspin as well if you're getting low enough and you're actually chopping on the back of the ball rather than under it. That's developing a lot of backspin. I find personally I don't get an awful lot of backspin. I'm doing something not quite right, or I'm not getting enough energy into it, but it does work really well for me as a top side spin. So if I go for your indecisive spot with a bit of top spin and plenty of side on it, that's where it seems to work for me. I'll give you a demo and see where we go from there. Your position is your left foot is slightly forward and your shoulders forward as well. Straight up and then into the shot. You've got to get pretty low to the table to get this. I struggle because my knees don't bend, but I can get enough out of it for what I need. But you really do need to get low if you can. You've got to put speed into the ball, but you've got to just to say brush it to get that short serve, that double bounce, and to leave all the spin that's there. So that's quite difficult, but all you need is practice and practice and practice until you feel it. When I get it right, I know I've got it right. And then if I'm in a game and I get it right and I know it's really spinny, I know where it's probably going to go. If I hit it a little bit thick, I know it's going to go long, and therefore I can prepare myself to what type of ball I'm going to get back. I find myself also going a little bit gentle, trying to get it shorter. Now that means I'm also taking the spin off it. which isn't really good, but you got to, it's a compromise. You got to do what you can. It only has to be good enough, not perfect. All you're going to do is, just to show the shot, is just block it straight, flat bat, block it, and we'll see where it goes. I would say, as the server, where you hit it, you're going to know what sort of reaction you're going to get. So if you don't quite catch it and all you're going to do is put a lot of side on it, it's up to you to know what's going on. If you get a little bit of top instead of all side, you know what's going on. If you do get backspin, you know you've got what you're going for. So that's the idea. Only I know first, but I am hoping for a little bit of backspin. A little bit. I'll go for top spin so it'll fly up. Yeah. Yeah, it's flying up. Right, so part of this video is all about who is it for? Who is the Tomahawk going to be the most useful for? Say with youngsters, definitely they're already at this height. And what we're going to try now is try a few simulating the height of a wheelchair. So let's have a try of this. Now the rules of wheelchair table tennis is a serve has to be off the end line. If it goes out to here, it's a let serve. Okay, so it must be only off the end. Yeah, double bounce. So height wise, the lower you are, the easier it is to get that double bounce, that short serve. Where me stood up, I was just too high and I was giving it too much bounce into it. So there's a lot about the throw, getting used to the actual contact around the ear. Now that would have been nice. You would have to position.
Yeah, but again,
that's not about that now. What we're talking about is if you're getting on a bit and you want a good practice session without crippling yourself. Yeah. Because then you would start.
See, I think
you could learn the technique sat down. Yeah, I mean that's bang on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again.
But stood up.
Yeah, you would wear out.
I would wear out that because
obviously someone younger who's fitter and has got good knees.
Absolutely.
That's not a problem. Just go with it. But for someone who's getting on a bit like myself, you with your knees, then you can get a proper session in, can't you?
See, I feel that the backspin. I feel I'm getting backspin on it.
Just at the last minute, you always start the same.
Yeah.
But then you're going to catch the top of the ball.
All right.
Yeah. Now, so you've got side, total side, under, and top. And it doesn't have to be a lot, because it really is a ball of side.
Let the back do the work.
Yeah, and it's very loose grip,
so
that you get a lot of that movement. Your fingers, you literally, it's like that. As I said, it's very similar to throwing a dart. If you were throwing a dart, that's what you're doing. Bump. Plenty of side on that. I think because you see it kick off the table?
Yeah.
That there, I went, oh, here it is, and it wasn't, it was there.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of kick, massive kick. Yeah. So if you were coaching this to older players, kids, no problem, don't have them on a seat. Obviously for wheelchair, practice all you can. But for anyone like with bad knees or getting on a bit like myself, actually starting out in a chair would be an advantage because you'd be able to get a full half hour out of you without wearing your knees out. And then from there, you would have to take it to stood up. But I think that's about it then, isn't it?
I would say so, yeah.
We've covered everything.
I think we've covered everything, yeah, definitely. And I do think going from the chair has made a massive help in feeling where it needs to be. So yeah, 100%.
Sure. Use it. If it's any good to you, comment please.